প্রবলেমটা তো এই যতক্ষণ না মানুষের এই
হুম, ঠিক
আচ্ছা,
ঠিক,
আপনার
একদমই ঠিক।
শুরু হয়ে গেছে?
হ্যাঁ, আমার তাহলে শুরু করব।
হ্যাঁ,
আমি
মোটামুটি অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স এসে গেছে?
মানে first let me tell you that it is truly our privilege that you have agreed to come and talk, etc. That itself is a
মিস্ত্রি।
great matter of great satisfaction, because I know what you are, and therefore I know that your talk will inspire people. Uh, I now would hand over it to our Professor Suraj Pal, who is the convener of our IIC. So I would request Professor Pal. Professor Pal, are you there? Would you please take over from here?
And good morning to you all and the Council University. Mr. Narendranath Datta, the esteemed guest and speaker of the day in this session, IC session, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Accreditation, Research and Advanced Studies of Faculties University, respected faculty members and officials of this university, and dear students. I welcome you all by the Institution Innovation Council with events on accelerators and incubation opportunities for students and faculty, candidate entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is a very important subject today, especially for young minds, the students and research scholars, and also for the faculty members who are interested in research, innovation, and starting their own venture. Having the right guidance and support at the early stages can make a big difference. And that is exactly what we still explore in this program. Faculty members possibly will pick up a few lines relevant to the mentoring of the students and early stage startups and those in the pre-incubation stages. We are honored to have with us Mr. Narendranath Datta, the Chief Executive Officer of the Technology Innovation Center at IIT Guwahati, which works under the Government of India's National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical System. Mr. Over 30 years of experience working in leading roles with all well-known companies like TNT, Citibank, HCL, BPL Mobiles, Aditya Birla Group, and Reliance. He has handled new responsibilities, launched new brands, developed markets, and led large deals and projects. He studies human physiology at Presidency College, Kolkata, completed his MBA from the University of Hertfordshire in the UK, and later went for an advanced management program at IIM Ahmedabad. He is also and leadership. And before joining IIT Guwahati's Technology Hub as a CEO, he worked as business consultant with various international firms such as BCG, GLG, Alba Sites, and others. So today at Technical Innovation Hub in IIT Guwahati, he is helping young startups grow, supporting students and faculty innovators, and creating a strong ecosystem for research and entrepreneurship. So here we truly privileged to have him here today. And now, before we move into the session, Mr. Datta, if I would invite our honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Tikeda, if he kindly address to the meet, please, sir, Professor Dam.
Um, uh, Good morning, Professor Pal. Good morning again, formally to and welcome Mr. Datta and all my colleagues and students, dear students. I can only say that it is my privilege. I consider that Mr. Datta has very kindly agreed to speak to us. Despite I know his busy schedule, and it is just not a sentence I am saying. How busy he is, that I have seen myself. His travel itinerary is always very packed. I don't know how, though he says that he is with IIT Guwahati, but really how many days he lives in Guwahati, I doubt. I have no idea because he travels to South and all other parts of India. And the eastern part, he has projects in various places in at IIT Kharagpur also I know personally, where we met and discussed. I know, I mean, already you have, Professor Pal has read his biodata, but I am telling you that from his biodata, you will know nothing about him. That is only few lines that, but his knowledge and wisdom cannot be understood from the CV, though that is also quite colorful and checkered. But honestly, you will know that now you will feel yours for yourself that how beneficial this session is. I won't stand between the speaker and you, so I would cut my discussion short. We will discuss later. Professor Datto, you're most welcome to our university, and if you ever get chance, please make a visit. And so it is the podium is yours as the conveners. Professor Pal has already said, so you may please begin your session. Professor Pal, is that all right? Can he begin his session? Are you all ready?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Da, for your encouraging, insightful words, as always. Now, before I invite respected Mr. Datta to kindly begin this session, and advise to the participant that you may please write your queries in the chat box, which may be addressed by the speaker, or you can ask one by one after his talk ends. And now the moment has come, and we have been waiting for so long. Mr. Datta said, we are very eager to hear your thoughts and learn from your vast experience. Please, sir.
Wow, I don't know whether I qualify for so much of big words what Professor Pal was talking about it, or for that matter, Mr. Dunn. Thank you so much, and I think I'm truly honored and blessed by all these words of yours. As I was telling Professor Dunn that, and I don't know whether I'll be able to add to any value, but definitely I think this session is not going to devalue your your thoughts and ideas. So there's nothing to lose. So on that note, thank you once again, all the faculty members, and I think we have got a couple of students also over here. So the subject which has been given to us for a discussion, I'll try and give you some understanding what I have learned last over a decade that I'm in the ecosystem of startups and entrepreneurship, both in a domestic here as well as overseas. And perhaps that may help you to have a different perspective of the entire subject. See, I'm not going to talk anything new because it is there right around everywhere, right? So you can look at the paper, look at the documents, look at the web, you get all data. But the question is, how do you interpret those data? How do you, take it forward, aligning your own ambition and goal? That what makes the difference. So what I'll do is that I'll try and share a couple of my thought process, which we have tried to create in a PowerPoint presentation. I'll share it. Yeah, it's there. Is it visible? Professor Pal, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is appearing, sir.
My slides are visible, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible, sir. It is visible, sir. Absolutely,
okay,
sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, are you all comfortable in English, or আমি কিন্তু বাংলাতেও বলতে পারি, কোনো অসুবিধা নেই। তো I'll have because the students community are there, so whatever language the objective is to communicate and to connect. So whatever you are comfortable with, I'll try and work around that particular solution. Okay, so the subject যেটা আমাকে দেওয়া হয়েছিল যে accelerators and incubators. Okay, unlocking opportunities. It's a big thing. And আমি এটা প্রফেসর পালকে আগেও বলেছিলাম it's a subject, it's a very big subject, right? আমি জানি না এটা 1 ঘন্টার মধ্যে এটার উপর আমি justify করতে পারবো কিনা. Recently, I was telling Professor Dan that recently I just concluded. I mean, we concluded a program here in IIT Guwahati along with FICCI, which was a 15 days program on the same subject, where I was associated with them from day one in terms of on various subjects on this particular ecosystem. And simultaneously, I was also, attached with another program by IMA Venture along with SAP India. Now, they are also doing a similar kind of a program in Northeast along with the Startup Assam and Government of Assam. So both were, concurrently running. And in IIT Guwahati, we had roughly about 57 participants, and IMA this cohort 1 and cohort 2, they had almost about 70 odd participants at various stages of development. So I'll try, I know, because these are actually, every time I attend this kind of program or interact with people like this and across, it gives me a different perspective altogether, because ultimately we are living in a very volatile world. What is a very common word that we always coin in management jargon is called VUCA, VUCA. We are living in a VUCA world. V stands for volatile, U stands for uncertainty, C stands for chaotic, and A stands for ambiguity. So this is the kind of world that we live in today. Everything is changing at much faster than a light, speed of the light, right? So we do not know, we cannot predict what is going to happen tomorrow, and we cannot hold on to something. So the agility and readiness to the market is what going to make you, fit for survival. Go back to Darwin's theory once again. So unless and until you are dynamic enough, you are agile enough, you are connected with the market reality, with the ecosystem that you belong to, the chances of success would be very remote. Okay, now back to it. So we'll go. So now I represent Technology Innovation Hub, which is a baby of Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. And this has been designed with a specific objective of 4 core mandates: the technology development, entrepreneurship development, human resource development, and international collaboration. These are the 4, verticals on which, we work. And there are about 25 such kind of technology hub in the country, including where we met Mr. Dan is IIT Kharagpur. So basically all the IITs, predominantly about 22 IITs apart from ISI Calcutta. Then we have got ISC Bangalore, and we have ISC, Pune. So they are the few, and BITS Pilani at Pilani, Rajasthan. So these are the 4 and 21 IITs all put together. There are 25 hubs with a project outlay of roughly about $1 billion for carrying out the mandates in these 4 areas. The reason being very simple is that in an academic environment, as I started saying, academic environment is a different environment altogether, where the DNA is all about academia. I mean, the excellence in terms of scholastic achievement. But when you talk about one side is scholastic achievement and one side is the reality, the platform is there, but nobody trying to create a bridge on the platform so that both talks together. That's the reason what we are seeing is that the IITians are getting out of the college, and first thing that they are going out is the Silicon Valley. Like if I talk about all my batchmates, I think I'm the only black sheep in India. All are flocking in Harvard and Stanford and Boston. I think, including me, 2 or 3 guys are in India. 1 back last year, and balance all are abroad, settled abroad. Now, does it mean that in India we do not have enough potential? Does it mean that we do not have enough amount of opportunity for the young talents? Okay, these are the subjects or the questions which I think which haunts us on a day in, day out basis, right? I don't know how much would be the reverse migration because of the madness of Trump, but thing is that yes, this is a serious issue for India because we are developing the best of the talents with taxpayers' money, and finally they are going out and giving blustering to the economy of either US or Germany or Europe or Southeast Asia or Oceania, any of these countries, right? So when I will touch upon this subject, I'll touch upon the macro side of the ecosystem, a bit of the micro side of the ecosystem, and bit of data. Because what I believe is that unless and until you have a holistic view of the subject, it will be very difficult to have a very clear perspective of what we are trying to address. And that's the way I look at it. So when I'll go through it, I'll go through it with a mix of all these aspects, which perhaps will give you a different kind of understanding from a different kind of angle that we are accustomed to look into it. Now, back to once again of these subjects, the core areas which has been identified by Government of India as of now. If you look at the left side of yours, it's the 5 core areas: healthcare, infrastructure, defense, agriculture, and environment. These are the 4 core mandate areas. Now, if you just go back in your memory and try and look at it, the goal for India for SDGA, unfortunately, I haven't kept the slide over here. SDGA, we have got 17 goals. All these are aligned with these core
Mr.
mandates
Datta,
that government.
Mr.
Yeah.
Datta, Mr. Datta,
Yeah.
it looks like you are telling these 5 items of something, so it seems that your slide is not moving.
Slide not moving.
Slide
Is
is
it
not
moving?
moving.
No,
Is
sir.
it now? You
No.
can see that?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Where is it stuck in the first slide?
Yeah, yeah. Now it has started moving. Now we have.
You can see that?
Yes. Now the union budget to the 25 is that the
Yeah.
So now it has started moving. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry for that. I mean, these are the technical glitches. I don't know. But so if you talk about these 5 core sectors which have been identified by the Union Cabinet for addressing to really go in that path of what is called Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? The healthcare, infrastructure, defense, agricultural, and environment. They're the 5 core sectors. And what I was trying to tell you is that if you look at the SDGA goal, which has been designed for the country, and our Prime Minister ji accepted that, they are all 17 goals, are all aligned with these 5 core aspects of our economy as of now, right? Now, what they have done is that they have very carefully have chosen areas and have targeted 1 or 2 or 3 such IITs to work on this area. Like we as an IIT Guwahati, along with IIT Trichy and IIT Indore, we work with the area of environment. So anything and everything coming under environment is a very big subject. So we work under that area of environment and sustainability. Similarly, there are other IITs who are working on agriculture. There are other IITs working on defense, and other work, the infrastructure, and so on and so forth, healthcare and all. But it is not limited to that. When our specific focus are on this particular domain, but we do work on other areas also. Okay. Now, why I'm saying this, I'll come to why, because I'm trying to give you a highlight on that, because this is going to give you the is the focus of the government. This will also try and give you an understanding of the emerging sectors of the country, where perhaps you can align your own thought process for development. When you talk about a startup, when you talk about doing something on your own, now you should try and align something which is there, the ask for the day. not something out of blue, right? Now, if you look at the right side of yours, I'm talking about the budget allocation. Now, this budget allocation also is another which we need to read between the lines, is that area, if you look at it, the highest budget which has been allotted is the defense. Highest budget has been given to defense today, right? Now, if you look at it, the last year, vis-a-vis last year and this year, there has been a huge jump, 180,000 crores from there, 491,000 crores. Now, what does it mean to us and to people? Forget about other things. It means that there is a humongous amount of scope in terms of innovation and technology infusion in the area of defense. When you talk about tri-forces, there are huge amount of requirement in terms of creating solutions what the armed forces is looking at it today, whether it could be in terms of the ammunition, whether it could be in terms of the surveillance, whether it could be in terms of the technology intervention of IoT, AI, and all, even to the extent of food security, logistic, name anything. That means when we talk about today we work, I mean, unfortunately, they are classified, so I cannot go deep into it. So we work almost about 90 odd projects of Indian Armed Forces. Now it has got Navy into it, it has got Indian Army, it has got Air Forces. So it encompasses starting from digital surveillance, it has drone technology, it has got non-invasive surveillance, it has got what should I say, ammo, name anything, it is there. And apart from that, there are also a huge amount of programs going on in terms of equipping the jawans in the field, the border, because we happens to be strategically located in the area of northeast, where we have got more than 3,500 kilometers of international border, very porous border. So we have got a huge amount of task on our hand to work with the army in terms of giving a lot of solution. Beyond that, I cannot go because it's classified. So when we talk about a startup now, I've got number of startups working in these directions, because our job is in terms of creating a solution, and then solution is being handed over to a startup, or vis-a-vis the other way around. The startups are coming up with the problem statement that this is what they want to address. We do our due diligence, and then we connect with them in the industry, and they are on their own. So the reason for giving you the budget is that to understand, read between the lines. Similarly, if you talk about rural development, we have got number of programs we are doing on livelihood missions. Number of programs, because when you talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, it is not only in terms of kamikaze and anti-drones and drones and Kali stage 3. No, it's not that. It's about also how you are trying to create a ecosystem which is going to be self-sustainable, and then you can actually help the equal distribution of the money flow which is happening in our country, because we are talking about, we are a bipolar situation. Can you make it in terms of an equal distribution, social inclusion? That is also a challenge for us, because more that people have money in their hand, they are not going to look for job, they are going to create job. That's the way that we look at it. So any of these items that you look at it, similarly, agricultural allied activities, there has been a substantial amount of jump has happened in that area. Education, health. In fact, health-wise, we are nowhere. If you talk about any advanced economy today in the world, our spend, as a percentage of GDP, not even 1.9% or 2%, where all these countries are there in the level of about 10-11%. That means we see a huge amount of opportunity if you really do a startup in the area of health sector. Similarly with the agricultural sector, similarly with the IT telecom, similarly with urban development, there are a whole lot of problem, whole lot of activities that we can do. See, startup, it doesn't mean that you have to only think about very high tech. No, nothing. Very simple thing also can give a solution which is going to be a paradigm shift for the livelihood mission. And that is what is the aim should be for all our faculty members, all our mentors, that to guide the students in terms of understanding what is their call, what they're thinking about it, how they're thinking about it, and can we create a kind of a solution out of the ideas they have, which will align to the core requirement of the country today. That is what is required. Is that moving slides? The next slide, you can see that, sir. Discussion points. Professor Pal.
Third slide, sir.
This
We
is
need the third slide, sir.
first slide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see
এটা এসছে
some points. Yes, sir. Fifth slide দেখা যাচ্ছে, sir.
তাহলে আমাকে প্রতিবার ব্যাক করে গিয়ে আসতে হবে। I think this is the problem with the WebEx. Okay, so what now I have given you a very kind of a rough understanding about the ecosystem. We'll come to the main discussion points. Here also I'll touch upon some micro and macro elements of the ecosystem. Then we'll go to the core subject in terms of understanding the accelerators and incubators, what exactly we mean by that. Okay. Now, what is there for the students? What is there for the faculty members? And what are the benefits? And how to get involved and succeed. So this is the way I'll try and structure it. But what I would request the entire team, it's present here, and my humble request to the faculty members, and also a request to all the student community over here. Please ask questions, or don't hesitate to intervene, because otherwise it will be only a monologue. I'll be talking from my end because it's a virtual meeting, so I can't see anyone. Okay, so I may not have the skill left. So I would request people to please ask questions. Okay. Now I'll go to the Professor Pal, if my slide doesn't move, please tell me. I think I'll request you to do that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Definitely.
The startup landscape in India, is it visible?
Yes, sir. It is.
Okay, great. Now, if you look at it, these are all data points. But the data points, once again, I'd request you to read between the lines. So, though DPIIT startup claims that they have got 1.58 lakhs startup as on date registered with DPIIT, but India has registered over 486,000 startups, making it the second largest startup hub in globally after US. Okay, I'll stop here for a moment. If you look at it, that means we are now competing with a country which is roughly about, if you talk about the current US GDP size is roughly about 31 trillion, right? And whereas hovering around 4.2, 4.19, whatever the figures are. So roughly about 700%. Now we are near to a kind of a that economy in terms of the startup, because as I can see in the academic environment, there is a huge rush of publishing papers. I mean, my apology to all the academicians over here. There's a huge rush, and that's the reason we are one of the leading member in the world scholastic community in terms of publishing papers, filing patents. But when you talk about filing patents and filing papers, we do not think about it, that what is the commercial value of it? Is my country getting benefited out of this? I don't think we think about it. That's the reason when you talk about innovation, research to commercialization, we are nowhere in the index of 50 also. And this is the pain which has been also understood by Government of India, and that is what our secretary also talks about the same thing. That when you talk about this, we are there, but we talk about this, we are not there. Then what is the point? We are spending billions and billions dollars of taxpayers' money of creating such innovations, research, patents, but when you come to in terms of commercialization of it, we have to import. We don't have. So this is a big gap. It's a huge gap. And we need to all come forward in terms of at least try to, fill in this gap so that really when you talk about it, going to be the one of the major economy in the world going forward. The aim is to come, near at least to China. But the question is very simple. When you look at it, a per capita income, we are nowhere. So what is the point of having a big fluffy omelette when you do not have anything inside? So this is the question we all need to hover around and understand. With a country of officially there is no census happened after 2011. So even if you extrapolate the data with the birth rate, today we are much higher than China. We are world's biggest populated place today, roughly with 153, 154 million. I mean 1.54 billion kind of situations, right? And with a 4.2 kind of a situation. So if you look at it in a PPP, we are nowhere in terms of the world advanced countries when you talk about the affordability of the common mass. So India is becoming, that's the reason the common word goes, India is becoming poorer and poorer, and the money is getting concentrated with Ambani, Adani. But we do not look at it what we could have done at our end in terms of solving the problem. If you look at it, the economy, a similar kind of economy. If I talk about only example, my favorite example of Japan, which almost after the Second World War, if you look at it, after the Hiroshima, Nagasaki, that bomb blast in 1945 or this thing, India got an independence, a similar kind of situation, similar kind of time, right? So it's a question of plus minus 2-3 years. Where are they today in terms of the economic growth? Where today we are in terms of economic growth? Why that it has happened with a history which is over 1,000 years old, we haven't been able to develop simply because that we do not want to venture out and question our ability, test our ability to do something differently. That is what it is. आज सुबह उठ के मेरे को दिन में लगा कि मेरे को ये चीज करनी है, मैंने उसके ऊपर पेपर लिखना चालू कर दिया. मैंने सोचा भी नहीं उसका whether they have a value for it, whether that will have any kind of a practical application of the subject. We do not think about it, and we are thinking that भाई हमारा startup नहीं होता है, हमारा पैसा नहीं है, फलाना नहीं है, ढिंकाना नहीं है, all this kind of stuff we keep on talking about it. When I look at it, my fellow colleagues are in Harvard or Boston or Stanford. They do not get research grants just like that. They have to connect industry, and they have to get their paper approved, and the industry gives them the money as a grant for carrying out the R&D, which it will be commercialized. In our case, I get every day hundreds of applications for research grant. Today, I am the most unwanted person in the ecosystem because I ask questions. This fund was given to you. What is happening? You are still at, even after 2 years of this thing, you are still at a TRL level of 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. And every quarter you are asking for money. You have got JRF, you have got SRF, you have bought this equipment, that equipment, and after that, nothing, zero. So the accountability itself is missing. The objective of doing something is not holistic. They are not real. And this, we are grappling with that. Today or tomorrow, we have to pay for it. We are paying for it, and we'll keep on paying for it. We'll keep on unless and until we become conscious to ourselves, and we want to make a real difference through our knowledge and through the ecosystem which is helping us out. The ecosystem is very much there. The support system is very much there. Today, companies are doling out money like crazy. Most of the companies, they're willing to come forward in terms of giving a problem to this kind of institutes, but the institutes are not equipped enough. If you look at it, the statement made by Bakul Dholakia, my ex-director of IIM Ahmedabad, he said out of 10 people coming out of the engineering colleges, 7 are unemployable. Out of 10 MBA coming out of the MBA schools, 5 are unemployable. The reason being very simple is that they do not have a industry understanding. They do not know what industry want. What is the pain point? They're stuck with the same subject which you have read 20 years back, and where the world has gone 200 years ahead. So this is a problem. Now, if you look at it, back to it once again, my statement, out of 486,000, 31,000 are funded companies that they have collected, raised a humongous amount of money, 578 billion, humongous amount of money. But where it is. Now, yes, there are some good news also. We have got 87 unicorns that we have been able to develop. And so on and so forth. If we look at it, all the data that last 5 years, if we look at it, the data, now, last 5 years alone, the total funding raised is roughly about $13.4 billion. Huge amount of money has. But still, if you look at it, we are struggling in terms of our survival when you talk about the startups, barring very few. Professor Pal, emerging sectors, is it visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Thank you. So if you look at it, I'll quickly touch upon this thing. The areas, I have spoken about it in my second and third slides. From that, if I try and curate it out, looking at the SDGA goal, looking at the budget allocation, looking at the country's economic progress, the areas which are emerging out, which can be a point of consideration for the new startups, are fintech. Obviously, that is one area that is emerging pretty with the advance of the AI and the quantum. Fintech is one area that definitely is a matter of a great prospect. Similarly, I was talking about healthcare and life sciences, right? Healthcare itself is a very big portfolio, and there are companies who are eager to participate in a collaborative approach with funding, R&D grant, and all this kind of stuff. And another area, of course, is renewable energy, because the biggest goal for this thing is the sustainability is a 60 gigawatt kind of a solar, and we are nowhere near to that. Yeah, in paper people talk about it, but when you see it physically, is not there. In spite of so much of government grants, in so much of government subsidies coming into it, but very little progress has been happened, at least in terms of designing the off-grid solution. Forget about on-grid, because on-grid is going to take a long time unless a deep pocket guy like Mukesh Ambani comes in over there. Because the age-old grid system need to be changed, which requires $1 billion or $1 trillion investment, which may or may not be possible to create an ecosystem at the immediate intervention. But off-grid could be a major solution for sustainability, which is going to reduce a huge amount of burden on common people today. Then comes agri-tech. This is another area looking at the food security and the envisaged food scarcity that we are going to have with the population that's coming in. So agri-tech is another thrust area for the government, and they have, in fact, the Indian government has given us a huge amount of pressure in terms of creating various kind of innovative solutions to enhance productivity and the yield, okay, per hectare of land being cultivated, so that we stop importing what we are today doing in terms of pulses, cereals, fruits. So we need to be self-sustainable in terms of it. And the biggest one is the blue economy, where we're talking about the food in terms of a sustainable, culture, especially in aquaculture. What we called in technical term is IMTA, which is a very, very big thing which is coming up today, because that is the natural resources. And if we can harness, I think we have done one such pilot project in West Bengal, and we fortunate we got a national award for that in pisciculture. And I would love, perhaps, Mr. Dan was asking about the possible collaboration, because Bolpur, that is Birbhum district, with the huge amount of wetlands you have got nearby, I think this is one of the area that perhaps you can guys look at it. We can come across with solution with aquaponics, hydroponics, and nano farming, which may help you in terms of creating a lot of sustainability as well as livelihood programs for a district like Birbhum. Then we have got, of course, deep tech and climate tech areas, which are the real high tech areas. But in climate tech, one of the area that is coming forward, which is very, very emerging and going to really help the livelihood, is the waste management, because this is a big mineral and rural areas where we are now not competent enough in terms of treating the waste, whether it is a bio waste, whether it is a solid waste. Now the question is, when you talk about all this, where there are a lot of government subsidies are being doled out in terms of creating the waste to energy. You must have heard about the subjects. Currently we are supporting almost about 3-4 such kind of startups who are now creating energy out of waste. And one such person I met in the recent IMA convention, and they have been doing really good. They have been already create a POC, and we have been able to in advanced dialogue with Adani's for a massive capital infusion, where they are going to scale up to a level of a 5-ton capacity of daily processing. So things can move if you are, and my question is, when I look at this kind of, small ekkaduka example, there are possibilities where there are biggies who are working out with such kind of, structures, where if you really make a promising, MVP, that is a minimum viable product, and you are able to, demonstrate the POC, the proof of concept that you have thought about it, funding is not going to be a problem. I don't think it's going to be a problem. And of course, then real estate and infrastructure is another area where people can think about it. There's a lot of happening in that area. In terms of construction materials, when you talk about real estate, I'm not talking about building houses and being a builder. I'm talking about giving solution for construction industries. Now, whether in terms of designing various kind of construction materials, which are biodegradable and sustainable, and towards green energy. So if you look at it, there are companies which are working in the direction. Even in Assam, we have invested, I think, 2-3 such startups are there who are working in that directions. So there are scopes in that area also. E-commerce is another thing where but it requires a kind of a little deep pocket. Otherwise, the initial movement could be an initial issue scaling up. So I have kept it a list priority as of now. So emerging sectors, if you look at it, yes, that is what it is. Now, when I was talking about the startup, this is one area which is, when I made the statement, this India is the second after US. This is what it is. The Boston Consulting Group, they talks about it. This is what is the scene as of now in a global platform. And what they're saying is that 9 in 10 startups that are launched fail. Only 10% of the startups worldwide survive. I'll come to that, why there are also research is happening, and I'm sure this is also known to you. Majority of the startups, they are saying, are not well planned and researched. Most new startups have founders with zero experience. Now, this is a big thing which you need to understand. It is not that you need to have an experience, but as you go in the startup mode, you need to have a market connect. That is what the experience that we are talking about it. Now, if you look at it, the reason that has been surveyed, why they fail. See, it is beautifully explained by BCG. 34% lack because of product market fit. 22% is marketing problems, and 18% is a team problem. So out of 100, 74% is related to market. It's a very clear signal that I was talking about it, that unless and until you are connected with the real world, unless and until you are doing a proper research about the market, you may not, the chances of your success in a product, in an ecosystem and a startup ecosystem is absolutely remote. I have come across in my last, 10 plus years of journey in the startup ecosystem, very few people are actually connected with the market. And whoever connected in the market, I can, name them, they all are shining. They all are shining. People, you need to work out, student startup. We talk about student startup. I have been, in that, ecosystem where I'm interacting with number of students. Every day they come and flock around in my room. Sir, we want a startup. Sir, I have done this problem statement. मतलब भैया मैंने तूने मार्केट में स्टडी किया, अभी मार्केट में निकला तूने, मार्केट में गया? No answer. No answer. Now, the question is, if you start like that with a 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 2 lakh kind of a grant, this is the money is wastage. And the question is that we somehow, I don't know whether other people have a pain or not. I have a pain because this is our money, the taxpayers' money. Rather, if you spend like, 2 lakh, karke, if I spend it in 100 such kind of startups, there are a couple of IITs I don't want to name who have, invested in 300 startups, 400 startups. They proudly claim the figure 400 startups. And if you talk about any startup which has come to even a TRL, forget about MRL and CRL. Those are the terms they even do not know. Most of the people do not understand what is MRL and what is CRL. But have you at least come into TRL level 4 and 5? No. So what is the point of spending that an average of 3.5, 4 lakhs per startup and thereby spending about 1 crore? Instead, you can support 1 or 2 big startups, 1 or 2 startups, a promising startup after proper due diligence, and make them big so that they become a kind of an umbrella, not only for creation of a job, but other ancillary startups. The ecosystem will only survive when we carefully consider all these facts and figures and accordingly help people to achieve that goal. Not by just throwing money just like that. Okay, fine, I have got some money and I'm not accountable for the money. I keep on throwing that money. It is not going to help. You need to, as if you are an incubator, if you are an accelerator, you want to be a startup ecosystem and you want to operate as a mentor, you need to be absolutely objective in terms of understanding which startup I should go and work for. And once we handhold them after proper due diligence. There could be a financial due diligence. There could be a due diligence in terms of the capability. There could be due diligence in terms of the market serviceability. There could be due diligence in terms of the level of scalability. Now, if that incubator or that startup ecosystem mentor need to have a thorough understanding about the market, a thorough reality check about the market in terms of what is happening. Because we do not understand the cost of money, the cost of capital, and the biggest is the loss of opportunity. Because if I would have invested that same amount of money on a project, on a different project, perhaps that could have seen the light of the day, and it would have actually collectively would have employed number of people. Today, one project of mine where they invested when the company initially when it came in, that their valuation was given to me was roughly about I think 7 or 8 crores. I think 7.5 or 8 crores, if I am not able to correct, 2 years down the line. A small, association, a guy from US, he came and started this. He termed it as a nano farming with, collecting villagers and creating a kind of farming model on hydroponics, based on hydroponics. He started with 2 farms. Today he owns close to about almost 5,800 farms today across Uttarakhand. And his aggregated valuation of the company Red Otter Farm is roughly about 110 CR. He has employed over almost 11,000, village level people, mostly women, in the farming. So if today we think about a kind of a solution like that, it may not be a unicorn. To hell with unicorn, we are not looking for unicorn. But am I able to create a kind of a sustainability in that area where I'm working? Am I able to create a kind of a security for income and social inclusion? Am I able to give a solution which is going to help the people not to migrate to city and live in the village and start developing on that? So it's like, the same theory, the money brings in money. So when we do a development program, that development program is going to culminate into another development program, which is going to be a robust, ecosystem, which will help all of us. Now, I'm not saying that we need to be philanthropic. We need to be, looking at the country first. No, but whatever we do, am I aligning that particular aspect of my, energy to the overall, development mission of the country? Or am I completely hatke kuch soch raha hu main? Now, when, without being political, I'm an apolitical guy. Without being political, when Mamata Banerjee, your CM of your West Bengal, talks about chop shilpo, there are a lot of people laugh at it. But when I in Vidyapati, if I remember Vidyapati, Kabir Vidyapati, and he said in one of his doha, very simple thing, Ganayat dosha gunalesha napavi jabatuhum karabi bichara. So if you start counting the faults, you will never see the quality in it. Now, if I just read between the line, chop shilpo. Now, chop shilpo, if you take it as a metaphoric form, that means you can do something very small at your home. Very small at your home. I was reading an article. Last week I was in Bangalore. I was traveling and I was airport. I was sitting and I was reading an article. They started from Bangalore. There are home chefs. The concept of home chefs. There are a lot of people who this IT guys. They are good, passionate in terms of cooking and all. They have now started. They have designed a part of their home as an experience themed restaurant. It's not a typical commercial restaurant. So what they do is that on a weekend, or now they have started also weekly, thrice or twice, they allow that particular space to be booked in advance for serving of various kind of foods. Now, it's a concept which is there abroad. It's very much there in abroad, sharing a space, which is not within India. And started it, and there are groups of such kind of folks in Bangalore who are earning in lakhs. So per day, they are saying that the good one which they are earning almost roughly about 50,000 rupees, 60,000 rupees per day. So if you look at it on an average basis, in a week they let out for about 3 days or 4 days in a week. That means an income potential of 2 lakhs with an average return on such kind of stuff where there's a capital investment is almost minimal, only OPEX. You are operating at about 30% to 45% margin, depending on the food quality. Even if I take about 30% on EBITDA level, that means you are talking about on a lakh turnover also per week, you are earning 30,000 bucks. Sitting at your home, and just by improvising your thought process, you are creating a kind of an income bucket of roughly about a lakh plus net income at your home. Now, this is what the concept need to come in India. The startup doesn't mean that I have to be an Ambani and Adani. Can I start something small? Can I start some, at my home, at my own capacity, using my own talent, using my own depth of knowledge? And money is going to pour in. You don't need any kind of, outside capital. You don't need seed capital. You don't need research grant, nothing. Not everyone, whoever reads in IIT Kharagpur can be a Sundar Pichai. Now we need to get out of this kind of mindset and think about it in a different way altogether. That there are scopes and opportunity, and if we really strike them with the right amount of energy level, we can make a difference. That is what I want to say over here. Now back to certain theory part of it, which is I think is required. I'll go through it little quick because of paucity of time. Professor Pal, this is visible or I'm still stuck at the old side? Definition and core functions of the accelerators?
Yes, sir. Definitely. Function slide is visible.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So this is the difference between accelerators and incubators, because both the words at times become confusing. So we need to have a very clear understanding about the subject, right? Like, if you talk about like the same confusion happens when you talk about angel investors, VC funders, merchant bankers, consortium of financiers. So all these kind of terms comes in when you do not understand, so that what happens, we cannot direct our energy to a right direction. It's very much required. Like if you're talking about a long gestation period, especially in a deep tech areas, you require incubation support. Because if the product takes a longer period of time in terms of developing, creating the POC, and then MVP and the MOS, you require a kind of a long-term handholding. Incubation is a must for that. Or the other way, if it is a kind of a 6 months to 12 months kind of situation, it's an accelerator program which a lot of company runs it, and you can join, like Vadwani Foundation is there, most of the HCL Foundation is there, Godrej Agrovet is there. There are a lot of acceleration program happen day in day out, which you can always participate. The students I'm talking about it, participate any of their program. Just keep on watching on the CSR program happening across the country. Most of the company are very generous, and like last year I did it, and now the second edition would be happening this year also. I did a program, a similar kind of acceleration program with the Israel Embassy, government of Israel, which was funded by Israel. Now, government of Israel. Now this year I'm planning to do a similar kind of program where I'm now calling FICCI FLO, which is going to be a leading partner for us with NASCOM and Israel Embassy together. I'm going to do a much bigger scale, accelerator program over here. Last time it was only concentrating on Northeast. Now this time I'm going to create a different kind of chapters across the country. So we may have 5 or 6 chapters across the country. We'll do it. So that's being coined about it. Now this kind of program, doing this kind of program doesn't require a kind of a huge amount of funding from the institution side. Actually, you get sponsors for that. If you are well, having a well-designed program and having a kind of of course, credibility is required in terms of executing that kind of program, and you have a right kind of, resources. Resources we're talking about, resource could be in terms of in terms of the mentors, B could be in terms of the infrastructural facilities, okay, what you require, right? And if you have these two factors, and I think that you can approach a lot of such kind of foundations who can really come forward and work with you in terms of creating that kind of programs. Most of these big companies, multinationals today, they have the CSR wing. And one of the CSR wing, one of the core mandate of the CSR wing is the livelihood programs, training and development, skill development programs. So they have got a good amount of budget for that. Like what we're talking about last year, we did with Israel Embassy. It was a huge budget. I can't quote the budget or whatever, but a huge budget program. This year also talking about FICCI fellow and all. The budget is almost in the range of 4 to 5 CR kind of situations. So because we'll be doing it in a nationwide. Now the entire money, I'm not going to spend even a single paisa. The entire money would be coming from sponsorship from these kind of this thing. Like the last program I attended with IMA Venture, the entire program is funded by SAP India. The current program we concluded at IIT Guwahati, it has been completely funded by FICCI. Now, these kind of money are that there in the market, and the sponsorships are there in the market. Sponsorship in the market, so we can always have people who can come forward and support you in terms of carrying out your program. So it is only a question of you think about it, you create an infrastructure, and you approach companies. I'm sure you will get it a good amount of response, and maybe you can take a baby step. I'm talking about the institution side. You can take a baby step, and you can do it. You can also maybe initially, if you want to do it, I'm telling you, Professor Pal, Professor Dan, you can also think about tying up either with your earlier institute, IIT Kharagpur, or you can do it with us, IIT Guwahati. We can help you in terms of creating a platform like that for acceleration program, even for incubation program. So we have number of such kind of modules.
Mr. Dotto, it is not an interruption, but I assure you that after this meeting, I will be in touch with you personally to take this up forward.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I think this could be, a kind of, we can always experiment. See, nothing is, as I said, I started saying, is a VUCA world. Nothing is sacrosanct. Nothing is permanent.
Absolutely,
We have to do a trial and error.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And as you said, and as we also understand that if we are starting with that critical thinking in the beginning, that what is market, is there a market fit or there is a market need and all, if we start that way, I am sure that the chances of our success will improve very much. I will discuss a model that we are discussing on this, but this is very, very important. I will be in touch.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Because when I look at the Birbhum and look at the demographics of it, look at the psychographics of the state, I think you may or may not have a very deep tech startup from that particular place. If it comes in, fantastic, no issue.
Correct.
But majority of this would be coming in terms of the social intervention, huge social intervention.
Precisely.
Huge social intervention. Now, there we can infuse technologies.
Absolutely.
Huge amount of technology can be driven, whether it is in terms of agricultural, in terms of health tech, in terms of your biosecurity. So you name it, we can work together various solutions, and we can create a kind of a platform where people can interact.
Correct.
And do it. We can do it.
Even I can tell you, Mr. Atta, even in the area of EdTech, because there are very underprivileged people who cannot afford to go. There is a huge dropout after class 8 because the midday meal ends there. Then we perhaps can think of doing some EdTech which would perhaps be helping those families and people. We can think of.
Absolutely. See, the biggest challenge for all of us together is, as an institution, as a nodal body, is that how do we stop the reverse migration from from the village? Why not people be in their own village and be prosper? When I travel across the world, when I see the villagers, the farmers over there, I mean, I really look at it at all, like they are richer than perhaps any of our so-called rich
Absolutely. Precisely.
I've seen choppers standing in their farm. I have seen Cessna beach aircraft is standing in their farm, and I said, wow, this is what it is. And they're farmers.
Yes,
they're having cows and horses, and they are having those lambs and acres and hectares of lands, and what a life they're living. I mean, I don't want to digress from the subject, but this time when I was traveling from Singapore to Sydney to meet my daughter, I happened to meet two guys, a very young couple from US, settled currently in London. In Sydney as of now. One is from Harvard and one from Stanford. Both are Ivy League grad. And what they are doing today, they are doing in a hospitality industry. They are having a small kiosk in Darling Harbour, which went, and we spent a good time in the flight. I was also there in Darling Harbour. And the weekend, they have a mobile, hospitality system. They have created a caravan, And in that caravan, they all the caravans are booked. They have got one caravan only, and it's almost booked for 3 months, 4 months in advance. Every week they take the caravan with couple of couples, and they take in the for a ride countryside, and they stay in that caravan. Good amount of income. Now this is the kind of business model they are working at. I was
Oh,
really
lovely. Oh, lovely. So they spend they save the entire hotel and motel cost.
That's all. So it's a pure OpEx
Exactly.
model. Look at it, pure OpEx model from a pure finance terms, pure OpEx model, no CapEx.
Correct.
They have a small kiosks in Darling Harbour throughout the week from Monday to Thursday. They are busy with that. Friday they take off in terms of the decking up their this thing, the caravan, and Friday evening they set off with with their clients, and they come
Pleasure
back
and
on
adventure put together. That is an element. That adventure they are putting in.
No,
those
we
kind of-
cannot think of this kind of ideas here in India. बोला नहीं हमारे इंडिया में चलेगा नहीं, कुछ
हाँ,
भी
हाँ।
बोलो हमारे इधर में चलेगा नहीं है.
हाँ.
तो भैया क्या चलेगा मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता क्या चलेगा.
Be-
सच्ची बताओ कि क्या चलेगा तब हमारा कंट्री में.
कुछ शुरू
बिकॉज
करने का
हम नौकरी के तलाश में रहेंगे तो नौकरी तो मिलेगा नहीं.
बिल्कुल.
नौकरी तो मिलेगा नहीं. उधर में एवरेज पीपल आर ग्रेजुएट. Hardly few people go for post graduation over there. And hardly percentage of it go for a doctorate, and even a rare percentage of it go for postdoctoral.
Correct.
That is the level of education over there, because you don't require a doctorate. Same I go back to the 3 idiots this thing. अगर बैंक में नौकरी करना था तो पहले इंजीनियरिंग किया, उसके बाद MBA किया, उसके बाद देखिए बैंक में नौकरी कर रहे हैं. It's a colossal wastage of taxpayers' money in terms of doing it. When I was in IIM Ahmedabad, if you look at it, levers comes in. I used to really fight with the levers कि भाई लोग आप IIM Ahmedabad से बंदे को लेके जा रहे हो, क्या बेचेगा? साबुन, आटा, मैदा, ये तो बेचेगा. For selling sabun, atta, maida, do you require an IIM Ahmedabad person?
This is the irony.
So because this is a demand supply, going back to the demand supply. So this is the pain in our country, and we are not able to give proper respect to education. That's the reason our professors are the lowest paid people in this country. Very, very pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. When an average professor even in a B grade university abroad, they earn roughly about $80,000, $90,000. Forget about Ivy League. Our professors are nowhere there to add. So overall, there is a erosion of the entire value system, the value chains, if I put it, not system, value chain put it, and that is simply because we are at fault. We only aim and point a finger to government, but what the hell we are doing at our end, we do not know. We do not know. Honestly speaking, we do not know. So there's a big subject, and we need to really think about it, because I'm just trying to trigger certain amount of a disruptive thought process in people's minds so that they can think differently. In Edward Hugo's 6 hat theory, I always wear the black hat.
Absolutely.
So maybe the black hat introduce a different kind of thinking altogether.
No, that's the black hat, or I genuinely call. I tell my mentees that I am your devil's advocate. So
Yeah.
I am devil's advocate. If you can pass, then you are truly successful. And this is a check. It is not a pass or fail. If you fail here, then I will support you, cheer you up, and guide you, coach you to the right direction. But don't follow a wrong path. So I am the devil's advocate for you. That black hat we have to wear at times. The other day I was telling, see, the coach has 4 things to do. One is that to cheer them up when they are down, to coach them, to connect them with others. But most importantly, you have to challenge them. The mentees, you have to challenge them that you can do it, but you have to do it better, or rethink. Rethinking is the challenge. That is absolutely, what you have said is absolutely right. I mean, that is absolutely necessary.
It's a pain, Professor Dan, because we do not have depth of talent in our country. When I look at the people over here, they are really
I
talented.
fully understand. I fully realize that there are very, very, very few people in the academia who appreciates, understands, and are evangelical in promoting innovation and entrepreneurship. This is a very candid statement I'm making, which I believe you will agree that this is today's scenario. The other day, I traveled to NIT Agartala to be their mentor and in their pedagogical thing for CBD, capacity building for design and entrepreneurship. So trust me, I mean, I have seen how utterly the academia or academic people fails.
Yeah, I understand. And this is what we have created.
Absolutely.
See,
Absolutely.
this is, I don't think we should blame, our problem is that we keep on blaming each other.
Hmm.
The system itself, see, if you look at contemporary, the development across the global platform, look at, people like Singapore, look at I mean, one of my favorite example is Japan. Look
Hmm.
at it in even a country like, Malaysia.
Hmm.
Forget about, advanced country like Australia and New Zealand. These guys are almost similar time in terms of, post, independence.
Yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah.
they are today, where we are. When I look at it, these guys are all, but they don't have any seriousness. The accountability factor is not there.
Yes.
The question is, it is chal raha hai, bas chalne do. I don't know. And unfortunately, when the same guys goes abroad,
Hmm.
there's a different breed altogether.
Precisely.
Different breed altogether.
Hmm.
So it is not that it is in the gene. I don't believe it is in the gene or the DNA.
No,
It
there
is the
are
ecosystem.
people,
It
very
is the
committed
ecosystem.
people. I see people very committed, very dedicated. Only problem what I see is that the their focus, as you very correctly pointed out, a thing that the reason of failure. I mean, I'm going to the drawing board once again to the square one. That the one of the most important reason of failure is product market fit. I have seen people, I also in IIT Kharagpur and other places. I mean, I have seen people, as you say, that they come with a solution and they look for a problem. I mean, that to some extent maybe okay, but that cannot be a generic model. We don't go to the marketplace, we don't try and talk to people or the potential user and find out what is the whether it would be validated. Is there a likelihood of being validated? What are the hypotheses? I mean, that is a solution. That is a solution. They have studied some artificial intelligence, something, and that is a solution. Already prepared solution. Problem ka
That is the
thikana.
question. You have a ready-made example with Omkar at IIT
Yeah.
Kharagpur.
Yes. Yes.
He's still struggling, and in spite of you cajoling him, you handholding him for a longer period of time, I went out of the way of connecting him, with number of
Mr.
industry.
Datta, I would just like to add one point here. You remember how many times I didn't agree with him when he said that there will be a civil structure. I said nothing doing. I am not agreeing as a mentor. You have to do away with that civil structure. Because with civil structure, the level of water remains non-variable. So if you float, only then you can do it. That it will go up and down. Only then it will be. Now see, now this technical part of it, you are definitely telling him to do that. But the initial part of it, we had a lot of discussion on this. Now I am very happy that under your guidance and mentoring, he has been able to come to the right path.
But there's long way to go. Long way to go.
Long way to go.
Long way to
Long way.
go. Because he is tapping on a subject. I told him, then we create now from his idea. We created a solution here in a different way with a helical turbine. Because with a helical turbine, we created a kind of a solution here in IIT Guwahati, and now we have given it to MOD, and we got a national award for that. we need to be flexible in terms of our thought process. If we are not able to achieve, we had an idea, but the idea market fit is not happening. So what we can do in terms of, reorienting the same thing in a different packaging altogether so that it fit the market requirement. That is what is required. If you look at it, this all, when you're talking about this 75% of it because of simply, market orientation problem.
Correct. But we have to do pivoting. Pivot is the way forward, not way back. People make mistakes that if I have to change now this and that. Pivot is the steering to a better option. And that's very, very necessary. And that is I would say instrument for survival.
Anyway, sir, I think I have taken a lot of time, and
No.
I have got
You do not know, Mr. Doctor, how much value you have added, how much have you inspired. This kind of discussion dialogue from a person like you who are on daily basis mentoring so many startups, very early stage, a little later stage, and the entire segment and span is under you. And I am very hopeful, and I would be calling you. Please kindly help us out. Also, tell us in Bolpur, in SICOM Skills University, what we can do to help you, and so that we can get your help. I need to assist you to get your help. Please advise me, advise us. We will take that up. Like whatever suits this particular region, we can discuss. Whenever you have time, just give me a ping, or I'll give you a ping, and we will join it.
Right, sir. Right, sir. It is very much possible. See, that I mean, tomorrow I'm traveling to one place in Alipurduar, right? Now,
Yeah.
it is not a university, it is not this thing. It is a small NGO who have been doing remarkable work across in terms of
Okay.
uplifting social livelihood. But there I'm seeing a silver line in terms of technology infusion, where
Hold on.
we can yield increase the yield per capita to a almost.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. Are you there, sir?
Hello.
I think, sir, there is
Hello.
network problem. Hello, Mr. Datta. Hello.
Professor Pal, is there any issue in network connection at his end?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think so, sir.
আচ্ছা দেখা যাক কি হয় দেখি ও জয়েন করেন কি
উনি
উনি
মিটিং আছেন কিন্তু রেসপন্ড করছেন না, এবার বুঝতে পারছি না। পার্টিসিপেন্ট লিস্টে
একটু
লিখতে
ধরে
হবে
থাকুন
আমাকে।
কি হয় একটু জাস্ট
হুম,
হোল্ড
হুম।
অন ভাই মানে ওনার তো ডিসকাশন কমপ্লিট হয়েই গেছে, খালি ভোট অফ থ্যাঙ্কস ইত্যাদি বাকি আছে।
কিছু কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার দেখলাম পড়েছে, হয়তো পড়বে, জিজ্ঞেস করবো।
আচ্ছা, তো Are participants enjoying? Are participants enjoying? 1 or 2% can respond, please. Because Mr. Datta is not here now, so I'm just asking. Any 1 or 2 responses? Professor Pal?
Yes, sir.
Can you call Mr. Datta?
Yes, sir, sir.
Call and say that it seems that he is out of the network now, or ফোন করে একটু দেখুন।
I think, hello, am I audible? I think I lost.
Yes, sir, sir.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
I think I lost in,
No,
in between, so I
yes, network.
disconnected.
No
The
issue,
So
sir.
what
No
I'll
network
do
issue.
is
dropped.
that instead of going through the mundane slides, rather I would like to request our faculty members as well as the students community, if they have anything need
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
understand from me, it will be better, because otherwise I'll
Exactly.
go on talking, and it's
Uh,
better to
Professor
have a
Pal, I
kind of an
believe.
understanding of the subject.
Sure. Professor Pal, I believe you have certain
Yeah.
questions, etc.
Now, so anybody can
If
please ask questions.
there is some questions, please ask to Mr. Dostra, please. All the request to the
You can
faculties and
Rudra
the students.
Banerjee, I can see Mithun, Mrida, Dr. Somajit, Karishma Mahapatra.
Yes, Rudra, please ask.
Do one thing, Professor Pal. You
Yes, sir.
got question from the chat box. So in the meantime, you can ask Professor Datta, Mr. Datta, those things. And in the
Sir,
meantime, if others
Nobody
ask
is
questions,
replied in the chat box. I think they are curious about one-to-one questions and answer
no.
session. I think.
Okay, fine. And now do one thing. I hope you have one or two questions ready, right?
Sir.
Ask it till such time. Why to wait? Let them ask. But you go ahead with your question.
So I have one
Okay, sir.
question.
Okay, sir.
Hello?
Yes, Professor Dipkumar, please.
Yes. So what is the main difference between an accelerator and an incubator?
Okay, my slide was there. See, the moment you talk about incubation, right? It is like,
Yes, sir.
holding your child in your mother's womb. So it has a gestation
Yes.
period which is considerably high. And normally it is applicable for diptych projects where you have constant, research and development, designing, redesigning happens. So that's the reason the incubation word has been coined, where you need a handholding for a
Okay.
longer period of time, where you need a kind of a constant mentoring guide, whether in terms of research assistance, it could be in terms of knowledge infusion, it could in terms of design assistance. So incubation is a different kind of infrastructural support, where you are giving resources for a baby. If I call that product is a baby, is fully nourished and ready to walk in the world of reality. So incubation is more of a longer duration. It requires a careful, mentoring, a very careful nurturing of the subject. Whether accelerator program is, as the word says, is acceleration, right? You come, you have a short-term, engagement with that particular, platform, where you connect, you get a kind of a, level of expertise and you get out of it. That's all. So it's like a quick service restaurant and a fine dining restaurant.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Professor. Can I ask a question, sir?
Please, most welcome.
Sir, now is the trading is ongoing on the startup innovation on the engineering sector is the previous years also, and now this is the trends. So, sir, as a engineering sector, new boost economy for startup, which is the more suitable for student and the new ongoing faculties who are interested in innovation and any other firm, so they can how to handle it and how to they increase their boost or economy and that thing, sir.
See, that is the reason that I was, going in that initial slides of, giving you an understanding about the budget and the budget allocation, resource allocations, right? And I was also talking about a couple of emerging sectors. Now, when you talk about engineering sector per se, now, engineering, if you talk about typically what an academia understand about an engineering discipline is not what is understood by the world outside. The application is completely what you teach in civil engineering is not applicable. Only the fundamental knowledge is applicable. Otherwise, it is not available. To give you an understanding, none of your engineering students from the area of civil, domain would be able to, retrofit a bridge which is 150 years old, because they have the knowledge of the construction of the bridge, but they do not know how to understand what the problems are. So you require a different kind of, across, discipline knowledge, which requires geophysics, which requires in terms of understanding the below underwater construction, and it also requires a non-invasive technology in terms of scanning through it. So it calls for AI, it calls for IoT, it calls for bathymetry study, it calls for civil structure. A lot of things comes all together to it, which the industry have developed the specialized skills. Now those specialized skills are not available in a typical discipline that we taught or we teach in academia, right? So what can be done is, instead of, if a civil engineering person wants to do a startup, is that he need to understand, he need to go out in the market and understand where the issues, the gaps are in the market. Today, as I given an example, this is one gap in terms of big gap in terms of coming out, which we handle it on a day in, day out basis. We have got more than 6,500 dams in the country. Most of the dams are aged, old, right? Now, it is not possible to recreate another dam. It is not possible. So how do we retrofit those dams? Number one. Number two is that if we can do a kind of a preventive maintenance of the dam, as well as a corrective maintenance at this juncture, what are the kind of skill set required? What are the kind of equipments required? Can I be a specialist in terms of creating a solution for that, or can I be specialist in terms of designing the equipments required for that? I mean, to give an example, like, okay, I design a ROV, the remote operating vehicle, which can go in the depth of 300 meters or 400 meters, and then can scan through the entire structure and give me the data for me analysis, and then accordingly retrofit the whole thing. So that is another area of looking at it. When I'm looking at it, can I create a solution where I go deep in terms of the foundation, but through a non-invasive survey, and create a kind of a 3D twins and understand what we need to do in that area in terms of making it more robust and structurally strong. So there are a number of such kind of projects, and I keep on receiving. I'm just giving you one or two examples that come forward to us. Talk about hilly regions. Now, talking about hilly regions, when we have to at northeast, that a huge amount of infrastructural development is happening. Roadways, tunneling is happening. Now, tunneling is happening. The tunnel need to be done. Initial days, the conventional system will say you go dig the entire surface area, earth surface area, and then find out the composition, and then give the suggestion what need to be done in that to create a tunnel. Now we have a very sophisticated system where we can do it just non-invasive way with the help of a drone. We'll give you the entire 3D twins of the entire surface area up to 500-meter depth by block by block. So there are startups who are working on that. So when you talk about startup, they have to understand the market reality and what the market technology wants today. Where is the gap? What I can do in terms of resolving this issue. You talk about the defense. I'm giving what is non-classified. The defense. They have to make a road. The 3D printing is an emerging technology which is coming up. Can I make blocks, which the blocks can be with the interjoining facilities, and just can be created with a 3D printer, and the entire road can be designed and developed within a period of 1 week.
Yes, sir.
So we need to that, and this can only happen when you is that in touch with the market, in touch with the reality. And
Yes, sir.
one big thing is that study, read what is happening across the country, where the gaps are. How can I then only I can put my thinking hat onto it to find out the gaps. I need to find out the market fitment gap. Okay, fine. My knowledge is only on this. I have got this knowledge. I'm a civil engineer, I'm a mechanical engineer, or I am an electronics engineer. So my knowledge is limited to this particular domain. And I want to do something in this domain. Either I have an idea or I don't have an idea. I'm still fumbling with the idea. Then what we call as a coach, we use a concept called 4-word acronyms. We use GROW. The G stands for goal. So once we decide on the goal, right, then we have to do a research. The R stands for research. You have to do research and research and research, study, read. Go in the market, talk to people, talk to users, talk to consumers, how it is. And if the research says, no, your goal is not correct, change the goal. And then once again do the research. So G and R and G, you have to come to and fro before you finalize on your goal. Once you have finalized your goal after doing constant research, go for options. How you're going to achieve it. How going to achieve it? What are the means of achievement? And once you have achieved, we have finalized on your options. And these are the options A, B, C, depending on that. You have done a clear blueprinting of it. That this is what his options is. Then the W stands for work. Go and work for it. Go and work for it. So unless
Thank
you
you.
complete all the three points, you just
Hmm.
cannot jump on to doing a work. This is exactly what is happening. I've thought about a subject, now start working on it. I haven't gone through it doing a research. What are the options available? If I ask somebody, the project owner, where is the blueprint? What are you going to do? Nahi, theek hai, ye hai, wo hai, falana, but all fumbling. You should have a very clear understanding. I mean, we can perhaps, maybe in some other time, I can connect you with a couple of, successful startups. Look at the way they speak. Look at the way they talk. Look at the way their thought process are. Very clear, absolutely like Arjuna. I am looking at that eye of the bird only, very focused. And that focus can come only because they have done humongous amount of research across the market. Humongous amount of research. The reality check. Every time they have gone to the market, check back, this is what it is, this is what it is, this is what it is. So it cannot go wrong. It just cannot go wrong. Hope it gives you a kind of an understanding of the
Thank
subject.
you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's a good better understanding for the view of your expertise. And I am very thankful to give a lecture from your end, sir. খুব ভালো লেগেছে, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else?
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Please.
Yes, sir. Sir, how long does it typically take to incubate a startup from idea to launch? Means total initiation to completion, how much is the exact period what is required for? That is my question.
এইটা বলা খুব ডিফিকাল্ট হয়ে যাবে সাহেব, খুব বলা ডিফিকাল্ট হয়ে যাবে, কারণ আইডিয়াটা কি। এখন আমি
Yes.
যদি ভাবি আমি একটা মঙ্গল অভিযানের জন্য আমি একটা আরোভি বানাবো, তাহলে তার তো সময় লেগে যাবে 10 বছর, রাইট? আমি যদি ভাবি না আমি একটা অটোমেটেড একটা ভেহিকল বানাবো, তার সময় লাগতে পারে 6 মাস। সো ডিপেন্ডিং অন হোয়াট কাইন্ড অফ আইডিয়া ইট ইজ। নাও গো ব্যাক টু দ্য সেম থিং, ইজ দ্য আইডিয়া ভ্যালিডেটেড? আপনার সকালে উঠে আমার ইচ্ছা হলো গাছের বট পাতাকে দেখে ইচ্ছা হলো আমি একটা মানে উইদাউট এনি অফেন্স উইথ ডিউ অ্যাপোলজি, আমার কাছে একটি গত বছর একটা ছেলে এসেছিল নর্থ ইস্টের উইথ লট অফ রেকমেন্ডেশন, আই ওন্ট নেম দিস কাইন্ড অফ রেকমেন্ডেশন। আই মিন দিস থিং কি ও মানে ওকে দিতেই হবে এত টাকা, ওকে দিতেই হবে, সিড ক্যাপিটালে দিতেই হবে, কারণ ও করছে ইথানল তৈরি করছে ফ্রম ব্যাম্বু চিপস। Northeast is the harbor for all bamboo. This is the highest plantation of bamboos over there. তো এখান থেকে ইথানল বার করবে, ভেরি গুড। এবং তার জন্য ফান্ডিং দরকার এবং আমরা ফান্ডিং করবো ওকে। মানে তো লাভ দিয়ে চলে এসছে, মানে ও জানি ও ফান্ডিংটা পাবে, মানে জাস্ট আমার একটা শোয়ের দরকার, তাহলে ফান্ডিংটা পেয়ে যাবে ও। তো আমি ওকে জিজ্ঞাসা করলাম, ভাই তুমি যে এই ব্যাম্বু থেকে তুমি যে ইথানলটা বানাবে তার প্রসেসটা আমাকে একটু বোঝাবে। তো আমাকে কোশ্চেন করলো, স্যার আপনি কি এটা বুঝবেন, আপনি কি ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এর লোক, আপনি কি টেকনোলজিস্ট? তাহলে না ভাই, আমি টেকনোলজির কি বুঝি না, সামান্য পড়াশোনা করেছি, তো করে টোরে এখানে এসছি। তো কিন্তু আমার মুশকিল হচ্ছে, আমাকে গভর্নমেন্ট একটা দায়িত্ব দিয়েছে, ডিউ ডিলিজেন্স যেটাকে বলে। তো আমাকে বুঝতে হবে তুমি কি করে করবে, তারপরে বোঝার ব্যাপারটা তুমি ছেড়ে দাও। আমি ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং না বুঝলেও ছেড়ে দাও, আমি বোঝানোর মতো ক্ষমতা আছে। হ্যাঁ, কারণ 30 বছর ধরে তো আমি অনেক ইঞ্জিনিয়ারের সঙ্গে কাজ করলাম, তো কিছুটা বুঝতে পারি, তুমি ছেড়ে দাও আমাকে। আর তুমি আমাকে শুধু একটা ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল স্টেটমেন্ট তার সঙ্গে দিয়ে দাও, কি তুমি ব্যাম্বুটা যে করবে, সেই ব্যাম্বু চিপসটা কোত্থেকে আনবে, র মেটেরিয়াল কস্ট, তুমি র মেটেরিয়াল কোত্থেকে আনবে। ল্যাবে আমি 1 কিলো ব্যাম্বু ল্যাবে এনে ওটাকে করে দিতে পারি, কিন্তু আমি যখন একটা কমার্শিয়াল প্রোডাকশনে যাব, তখন আমি ব্যাম্বু কোত্থেকে আনবো? হোয়াট ইজ দ্য সাপ্লাই চেইন দ্যাট ইউ আর গোইং টু ক্রিয়েট? What is the kind of cost you're going to incur for that? What is the kind of storage facility you're going to work for that? What will be the gestation period that you'd be having? What will be the cost of capital for your plant and machinery? And what will be the raw material output cost? তুমি তারপরে সোজা কথা মালটাকে কত টাকা লিটারে তুমি বাজারে বেচবে, তার আমার হিসাব হয়ে গেছে। ভেরি ভেরি গুড। তুমি আমাকে একটা ক্যালকুলেশনটা করে আমাকে একটা খাতা কলমে লিখে দিয়ে দাও না ভাই, আমি দেখে নেব। তারপর যখন হিসাবটা এলো তো 2200 টাকা পার লিটার এলো। তো আমি বললাম ভাই 2200 টাকা লিটারে তো কেউ কিনবে না, তাই না? তো এখন এই হচ্ছে ঘটনা, আইডিয়াগুলো এই 2200 টাকা লিটারে আইডিয়া হয়। তো আইডিয়াগুলো যদি ভ্যালিডেটেড না হয় মার্কেটে, আমি কচুরিপানা থেকে খুব মাঝে লাভ ছিল লোকে কচুরিপানা, পশ্চিমবঙ্গে কচুরিপানার খুব সমস্যা। কচুরিপানা থেকে শুনলাম কে বানাচ্ছে আপনার ফাইবার বানিয়ে তার শাড়ি তৈরি করছে, কে কচুরিপানা থেকে ওষুধ বানাচ্ছে। খুব ভালো কথা, এক্সিলেন্ট ভালো কথা। তো সবাই কচুরিপানা নিয়ে হইচই হয়ে গেল, কচুরিপানা নিয়ে এলো। বললাম ভাই এটা করবেটা কি? তুমি কচুরিপানা তুমি একটা পুকুর থেকে দুটো পুকুর থেকে কচুরিপানা জোগাড় করবে, তারপরে কচুরিপানা র মেটেরিয়াল কোত্থেকে পাবে? তার মানে কচুরিপানা তুমি আবার চাষ করবে। See, these are the fallacy of your ideas. It is very good that you can process those hyacinth in terms of creating a particular raw material. Excellent. But after that, you have done it in lab condition. But after that, where is the regular supply of the hyacinth? That means what is the menace for the livelihood for the society? Because that is going to destroy all your aqua culture. Your aqua environment is destroying the aqua environment. It is the breeding this thing of the mosquitoes, of the dangerous lethal mosquitoes. We want to get rid of this particular specimen of our country, and now you're trying to breed that particular this thing to create a solution. I don't understand this. So আইডিয়াটা কি? Has it been validated? আইডিয়াটাকে ভ্যালিডেট করা হয়েছে কি? আবার আইডিয়াটা ভ্যালিডেট করার পরে what are the kind of support system you require to make it from an idea to a POC? তো এই টাইমটা তো ওইভাবে দেওয়া যাবে না, এটা ডিপেন্ড করবে আইডিয়ার উপর।
Hello, sir.
ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ বলুন।
Thank you.
Sir, Rudra this side, sir. Sir,
রুদ্রজি বলুন।
sir, actually, I am the student of BTech CSC final year of SSU, and along with I am doing my BS Computer Science and Data Analytics from IIT Patna. Actually, sir, I am building a AI-powered vernacular mental health support platform for rural and semi-urban India with my batchmates of IIT Patna. Actually, sir, we have a goal to democratize the mental health care by delivering the culturally sensitive and AI-driven support in every Indian language. Sir, actually, most problem in our India is that over 150 plus million Indians are suffering from mental health disorder with limited access to their treatment, sir. And most of the digital tool which are available in our India or internationally, they are only English speaking, and over 85% of Indians are non-English speaker. So our goal is to build a custom AI chat GPT, which we will be building through custom NLP model using IndicBART and Mural. And second, our plan is to integration with Vasini National Language Platform, and by which will be providing offline speech to text and text to speech capability in our mobile based platform. And for this, regarding building this deep tech, we wanted to connect with TIC of IIT Guwahati, but sir, in your website there is an option to apply for incubation only, and we need sir pre-incubation support from you, sir. And there is also mentioned that to apply for incubation we have to license like company registration, GST, that's all needed to apply for the incubation. So actually my question is, sir, is there any possibilities to get pre-incubation support from you, sir?
Okay, the question is, you are there are a lot of if not but why in your this thing. Now you're already doing with IIT Patna. So if you're doing with IIT Patna, so
No,
why
sir,
that you want
I am not doing this with IIT Patna. I am doing with the batchmate of IIT Patna.
So when you are having a fellow colleagues, students from IIT Patna, they by default they have the facility to get incubated there at IIT Patna.
Yes, sir. We
Okay.
tried, sir. we tried to connect them, but sir, the most problem is the IIT partner give incubation support to the infrastructure or startups only. Actually, they don't provide any AI or deep tech startup right now. They don't get funded there. So that is our most
So,
difficulties to get
now,
funded there.
now there's another angle you're opening up.
Can I come in, Mr. Datta? Can I come in here?
Yeah, please, please.
Rudro, oh, your name is Rudro. Rudro what?
Rudra Banerjee, sir.
Acha, I do not know. I am discussing with you because I do not know whether IIT Guwahati can extend some help or some kind of thing. But what I am telling you that you meet
Yes.
me after this thing. I am PK Dan, the professor speaking here. So you meet me. We can talk about the product, the proof of concept, and those kind of things, and the translation to Basini and all. And then when we understand that it is going in the right way, right direction,
Yes.
in that pre-incubation, we can arrange here.
Okay, that's a great opportunity, sir.
No,
But sir,
listen. We will
yes,
do
sir.
the pre-incubation, but if
Yeah.
during pre-incubation, I will be in touch with Mr. Datta.
Yeah.
Maybe if he feels that the pre-incubation actually now can take shape in a shorter period of time as incubation, then possibly you can get their help. But at this moment, Mr. Doctor, let me do the screening for you. Is that fine?
Yeah,
Actually,
it's absolutely fine. Rudro, and Rudro, just I think what your sir is saying, try and read between the lines. Okay, instead of we are going ahead with the time. So let me because we are. I mean, since we have met each other, Professor Dan and myself. So we are trying to work out kind of a model where we can perhaps collaborate with each other and complement each other in terms of certain development areas. So AI, IoT is one of our strong domain. We have a very strong AI, IoT domain in IIT Guwahati. And if it is required, we can perhaps work out a kind of a strategic collaboration with your incubation that is being proposed by them. So for a strategic support and handholding, that can be done. So let us work out a kind of a model with your university, and maybe that sooner or later you'll be seeing a kind of reflection happening, and then you may not have to run around everywhere, right? Options, opportunities are always there, and for a right candidate, I don't think there will be a dearth of that, right? So you need to fix once again, as I go back to my same statement, GROW, you understand what is your requirement. You are looking for incubation, looking for funding. Now I think you are looking also for funding. Now all these things, when you talk about it, see, you are confused. So please first do a kind of a very serious brainstorming and introspection. What is your requirement? Incubation or funding?
sir, we want a pre-incubation support there, sir. Actually, previously we
I have
contacted
already
with
told you,
IIT
Rudro.
Madras too, sir. Actually, sorry for interruption, sir. Actually, previously we contacted with IIT Madras, and Professor John Augustine from the CSE department from IIT Madras also interviewed with us. But the problem is they want to help us in MVP phase, because there is another program called Nirman which is happening in IIT Madras for pre-incubation, and that is over for this year. So there is a problem for us to wait for another Nirman date to get pre-incubation support from IIT Madras, and that's why we are searching for any kind of facilities or support we can get from any other IITs in Guwahati, sir.
Rudro, you talk with me, and then possibly Madras or Guwahati, that we will take care of that. But we are open to everything, and so first let us discuss internally. You talk with me, and then we will take it forward. I will personally talk with Mr. Datta on this. If
Okay, sir. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rudro. You are doing a good job. Healthcare industry is a very big industry. It is এখন already এখন যদি আমার মোটামুটি আমি একটা আর্টিকেল পড়ছিলাম বেশ কয়েকদিন আগে, roughly about I think it's in the range of about 3.5 to $4 billion, right? এবং এটা খুব একটা বেশি মানে কারেক্ট ফিগার নয়, কারণ আমাদের দেশে লোকে ওই একটা ছিল না তোমার ডিয়ার জিন্দেগি বলে একটা মুভি এসেছিল, ওই মুভিটা যদি দেখে
sir.
থাকো, ওই
Yes, sir.
মুভিটাতে খুব সুন্দর একটা কথা বলেছিল যে আমাদের দেশে লোকে যদি পেট খারাপও করে তা ডাক্তারের কাছে যেতে অসুবিধা হয় না, বলতে অসুবিধা হয় না যে আমার পেট খারাপ করেছে, কিন্তু কারো যদি মাথার ব্যারাম থাকে
Exactly,
মানে
exactly.
না, so mental health care is a very, very, what's alarming, I'll say, concern for the urbanized, not only the India, across the globe, right? Where people are much sophisticated, they are very much educated and learned, so they understand, appreciate, and respect that this is also a kind of a disease, and they have got a lot of facility for that. In India, we still call it an achut. ঠিক আছে? তো good subject, very good subject, very good potential. ঠিক মতো করতে পারলে I'm sure you will do something.
We have, sir, we actually have done every research, even in term of commercial, in term of business perspective, what will be our revenue model, each and everything has been done, sir. But our problem is just to get starting this problem.
तो बेटा एक बात बोलूं, आपने बोला ना we
Yes.
have done every research, নিউটনও বলে গেছে কিন্তু ও সমুদ্রের ধারে দাঁড়িয়ে মাত্র নুড়ি
Sir,
পাথর
just
করেছিল।
time of research, sir, and just time of research.
Don't ever say I have done every research when I'm done with my research. No, don't ever say that, right?
No, sir,
Don't ever say
actually,
that.
we already faced, sir, 10 to 15 rejection in our previous startup. Actually, this is my second startup, sir. Previously, I worked on a fintech startup. So I already got more than 15 rejection from my first startup, sir. Actually,
Very good.
it's been a
Very
4 months
good.
we are working this project, sir.
Nice to see you. So talk to your, your sir as of now in terms of
Yes, sir.
understanding how to.
Actually, I will meet with
The
professor.
world is always open for you. Don't worry. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, I have one question. Sir, to start a CSR funded project, what we have to do to get that fund?
Now, আপনার নামটা কি? হ্যালো,
Sir, Sumit Sarkar.
সুমিত সরকার। তো আপনি ফ্যাকাল্টি
Hello.
না স্টুডেন্ট? না, আপনি ফ্যাকাল্টি না স্টুডেন্ট?
Sir, faculty, sir.
হ্যালো, আপনি ফ্যাকাল্টি, রাইট? তো সরকার স্যার, এমন
হ্যাঁ,
হচ্ছে
স্যার।
ব্যাপারটা এখানে, হ্যাঁ, আপনি শুনতে পাচ্ছেন আমার কথা? হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ, স্যার।
হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ, স্যার।
শুনতে পাচ্ছেন তো? তো 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 ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে আপনি প্রথমেই কিন্তু আপনি ডিসাইড করে নিয়েছেন কি ওষুধটা দেবেন, এবং তারপরে আপনি তার ডিজিজটাকে ধরার চেষ্টা করছেন। এটাই সব থেকে বড় প্রবলেম। আপনার কাছে যদি কোনো আইডিয়া না থাকে, আপনি সিএসআর ফান্ড ব্যাপারটা আপনাকে, সিএসআর ফান্ড যেমন অনেক আছে আমাদের দেশে, বিশাল, ইন বিলিয়ন ডলার্স, ইন ট্রিলিয়ন ডলার্স, বিলিয়ন তো ভুল হবে, কিন্তু দের আর ভেরি ভেরি স্পেসিফিক, নিড ওরিয়েন্টেড। এবং আপনি যদি এরকম কোনো ভেগ জিনিস নিয়ে কোনো কোম্পানির কাছে যান, তাহলে কিন্তু কোম্পানি আপনাকে কথাই বলবে না, পাত্তাও দেবে না। আপনার কাছে একটা কোনো প্রোগ্রাম আছে, যে প্রোগ্রামটা আপনি করেছেন, বা যে প্রোগ্রামের একটা ব্লুপ্রিন্ট আপনি অলরেডি করেছেন, এবং আপনার সেইটা করার মতো ক্ষমতা আছে, তার যোগ্য প্রমাণ আপনাকে দিতে হবে। কারণ একটা কথা বুঝবেন, যেখানে আপনি ইন্ডাস্ট্রি থেকে আপনি যাচ্ছেন ইন্ডাস্ট্রির কাছে, ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতেই আমাদের মতো লোক বসে আছে যারা চুল চেরা বিচার করে, আপনাদের খাতা দেখার মতো নয়। সরি ফর মাই কমেন্ট। আমরা কিন্তু মানে ইন্ডাস্ট্রির লোক কিন্তু চুল চেরা বিচার করে, মানে ওরা একটা যদি টাকা পয়সা খরচা করে, ওরা তার জন্য 100 টাকা তোলে। ওরা কিন্তু লালার থেকেও বড় লালা। আমাদের ভাষা আলাদা, আমাদের চিন্তা শক্তি আলাদা। এই জন্য গভর্নমেন্ট জবরদস্তি আমাকে আইআইটিতে, কারণ ওরা জানে এই জিনিসটা কোনোদিন কোনো একাডেমিশিয়ান দিয়ে চলবে না বলে ওরা বাধ্য করেছে। আপনি কি ভাবছেন আইআইটি খুব আনন্দে রেখেছে আমাকে? ওরা বলেই দিচ্ছে যে ইন্ডাস্ট্রির লোক না চালালে টিআইএস তোমার দেওয়া হবে না, তোমাকে টিআইএস, ইট হ্যাজ টু রান বাই এন ইন্ডাস্ট্রি। কারণ তোমাদের কাছে ক্ষমতা নেই, সবার কাছে। আমাকে যদি কেউ বলে এখন গিয়ে আমাকে ফিজিক্স পড়াতে, আমি তো দাদা কেঁদে কেটে 1 সেকেন্ড করে ফেলবো, তাই না? কারণ আমার ফিজিক্সের দৌড় ক্লাস 8 অবধি কি 9 অবধি কি 10 অবধি, তারপরে তো নেই। তো যেটা যার ক্ষমতা, এখন আপনি ভাবছেন একটা সিএসআর ফান্ডিং নিয়ে কাজ করবেন, কি কাজ করবেন সেটা আগে ভাবুন, সেই কাজটা আপনি আদৌ করতে পারবেন কিনা সেটা ভাবুন। এইবার
হ্যাঁ
ভাবার
স্যার,
পরে
ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে স্যার, মানে
বলুন।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, মানে আমার যে কোশ্চেন ছিল অ্যাকচুয়ালি, যদি আমি পেতে হয় তাহলে আমাকে ইনিশিয়াল লেভেলে কোথায় গিয়ে আমাকে বলতে, মানে কি কাজটা করতে হবে আগে?
না না, আপনি যেটা করতে চাইছেন, দেখুন সিএসআর ফর
কিছু
সিএসআর যে
ইনিশিয়াল লেভেল
ফান্ডটা,
আইডিয়া আছে স্যার, মানে হ্যাঁ স্যার।
না না না, আমি আপনাকে বোঝাই যে সিএসআর ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে যে ফিলান্থ্রপিক অ্যাক্টিভিটি। ওকে, সিএসআর মোস্টলি দেওয়া হয় ফর ফিলান্থ্রপিক অ্যাক্টিভিটি, that is a corporate social responsibility as by the name of it.
Yes,
And
sir.
second CSR funding দেওয়া হয় towards research grant, and that research which is going to create lot of benefits for livelihood mission of this country at a higher impact, much higher impact. আপনি দুজন জেলেকে নিয়ে কাজ করলেন, কি তিনজন আপনি ভিখারিকে নিয়ে কাজ করলেন, কি চারটে প্রস্টিটিউটকে নিয়ে কাজ করলেন, তার জন্য কোনো সিএসআর গ্রান্ট আপনার কাছে আসবে না। আপনার কাছে তখনই সিএসআর গ্রান্ট কেউ আসবে বা কথা বলবে আপনার সঙ্গে, যখন দেখবে আপনার এই পার্টিকুলার সাবজেক্টটা, নট অনলি ইউ আর মাস্টার অন দ্যাট, you have a capability of execution of that capability in a large scale impacting millions. তবেই গিয়ে দেবে, তার আগে দেবে না। তার আগে
Sure,
কেউ
sir.
দেবে না।
Sure.
আমি আইআইটি গুয়াহাটি হয়ে কথা বলছি, I haven't been able to secure any CSR fund as of now. আমি ইন্ডাস্ট্রি গ্রান্টে কাজ করি অন রিসার্চ, কারণ আমি যেগুলোকে দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি ওদের সিএসআর গ্রান্টে আমাদের স্টার্ট আপ দিয়ে, ওরা বলছে সরি স্যার, ইট ডাজন্ট কোয়ালিফাই with a brand of IIT Guwahati. I do not qualify in the industry parlance. You can think about it, how stringent they are. But at the same time, the money is very high, extremely high. I mean, they can go up to a level of 20-30 crores. That's not a big deal. But you have to prove that you have the capability of executing it end to end. And you are dedicated, devoted, highly knowledgeable, highly specialized in that area you're talking about it. তবে গিয়ে সিএসআর ফান্ড পাবেন আপনি। এটা গভর্নমেন্ট গ্রান্ট নয় যে আপনি একটা পেপার লিখে দিলেন, ডিপিআর লিখে দিলেন, পেয়ে গেলেন। ওখানে ফান্ড পাওয়াটা যতখানি মানে ইজি, আবার ততখানি ডিফিকাল্ট সিএসআর ফান্ড পাওয়াটা। যে কারণে মোস্ট অফ দ্য কোম্পানির নিজস্ব সিএসআর ডিপার্টমেন্ট আছে যারা এই কাজগুলো করে, কারণ ওরা জানে সিএসআর ফান্ড, এই এনজিও গুলো যে সিএসআর ফান্ড তোলার চেষ্টা করে, কোনো কাজ করে না, টাকাগুলো নিয়ে বিএমডব্লিউ কেনে। তো ওরা খুব, যেহেতু ইন্ডাস্ট্রি, ওরা ভীষণভাবে ওরা ডিউ ডিলিজেন্সটা খুব স্ট্রং হয় ওদের। সুতরাং আপনি যদি ভাবেন কিছু করবেন, তা নিয়ে একটা কিছু কাজ করুন, তাই নিয়ে ওটাকে নিয়ে পড়াশোনা করুন, প্রচুর পড়াশোনা করুন, এবং করলে আপনি দেখবেন অটোমেটিক্যালি আপনি জানতে পারবেন যে হু আর দ্য পিপল। আজকে ধরুন আপনি বলবেন যে আমি ওয়াটার মিশন, জল জীবন মিশনের উপর কাজ করব, বা আমি ওই আপনার নমামি গঙ্গে প্রজেক্টের উপর কাজ করব, বা আমি ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্ট প্রজেক্টের উপর কাজ করব, বা আমি রিনিউয়েবল সোলার এনার্জির উপর কাজ করব। এবার ঠিক আছে, ভেরি গুড, আপনি এটা কোনো ভাবলেন যে এটা আমার এরিয়া, আমি দক্ষতা, আমি এটা কাজ করব। আমি আমার গ্রামে আমি এখন একটা প্রোটোটাইপ করে, সিডোটাইপ করে আমি শুরু করেছি। আমি দেখে নিয়েছি যে আমার গ্রামে আমি 10টা বাড়িতে আলো দিতে পারছি, তার জন্য আমার এত খরচা হচ্ছে। এবার আমি চাইছি 1000টা বাড়িতে আলো দিতে, আমি চাইছি 2000 বাড়ি আলো দিতে, আমি চাইছি 50টা আরো গ্রামে আলো দিতে, এই পার্টিকুলার মডেলটাকে। তখন এই মডেলটা আপনি প্রপোজ করতে পারবেন ওদের কাছে, যে ভাই আমি এই মডেলটা নিজে করেছি, এবং করে আমি দেখেছি এটা আমার, এটা this is what the success I have got it, this is the unique value proposition of this particular model, and this is the kind of investment which is far lower than the conventional system available in the market, and this is what the endurance capacity, this is what the falana dinkana, all the USP. And then say, boss, now I want to scale this model up for benefiting. I'm now benefiting only 4 people at my own capacity. I want to benefit 400,000 people in my capacity. So would you want to come forward? Why looking at a domestic grant? There's an international grant which is sitting for that, Baba. If you have a product, you have a project, you have a money.
Professor Pal? Hello, Professor Pal.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Datta, I believe that we have, taken a huge time of yours, and
Yes, sir.
it has
The
been
time is
very, very excellent session with so much of value addition. It is wonderful. I mean, saying it is wonderful would be an understatement. I have to move out because I have a meeting from 1:30. So I believe if there are questions, we will handle it later because questions with
হ্যাঁ,
Mr.
আমি
Datta
আমাকে
will.
যেতে হবে কারণ আমার 2:15 থেকে আরেকটা মিটিং আছে, আমাকে আমাকে আপনি
Question answer with Mr. Datta will never end. I know from my experience. Faculties will not let him go when he comes here at IIT Kharagpur and other places. I know that, but I understand that he also has certain time commitments.
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ স্যার।
Oh, Professor Pal, I
Yes, sir.
formally
Sir,
would like you to
please,
close this session.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Datta, I mean,
For bearing
I
me
will be
for
in touch with you.
half year, 2 years was. And any question you can always talk. Hanji?
Hello.
Mr. Datta, I'll be in touch
bolun.
with you. Mr. Datta, I'll be in touch
Please,
with you.
please, sir. Please, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Professor
Okay,
Pal,
sir.
please continue your this thing.
Okay, sir. No issue, sir. I will continue, sir. So, sir, very good session, sir. And we are very thankful to you that you have taken your taking time out of from your busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir. And I want thank you to all our faculty, colleagues, staffs, and student participants who attend and made this event meaningful through their presence and engagement. Thank you so much, sir. And
Thank you.
let us carry forward today's and continue building a strong innovation startup in our campus through your
Thank you.
through
We'll
our-
build it. We'll certainly work it out. We'll put on collaboration on that. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Okay,
once
bye.
again, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Bye.
Okay, sir.